Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to a spoiler-free review for One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. If you missed it, I read Red, White and Royal Blue, which is her other book. Both of them are standalone adult contemporary books with queer positive romance in them, and I loved Red, White and Royal Blue. I think it's going to be one of my favourites, if not my favourite book of 2021. So when this rocked up from the publisher, I was beyond excited. This follows two women. So one of them is named August and she has just moved to New York City and she's trying to make her own kind of life, I guess, because she's always been subject to whatever her mum wants and needs, and so she's based her own existence around her mum. So she's trying to move away from that. So she's moved to New York City. She's like a perpetual student, constantly studying, doesn't really know what direction she wants with her life. And one day on the train she runs into a girl named Jane, and Jane is this kind of punk looking leather jacket girl, and immediately August is developing a crush on her. And so this is a queer rom-com but also a subway time travel romance, and that is a very, very big tongue twister, but I thought it would be a little bit weird. But when I started reading it, it felt just very ridiculous and fun and entertaining. And that's what I pick up a romance for in general. And I really grew to love August. There are a lot of characters in here that are side characters as well. And I thought I would just forget their names, because when I'm reading a book, I tend to just let the names of side characters fall out of my head. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because I read a lot of fantasy and there's not enough room for all that world building in there. But with this one, all of the characters that were side characters felt really fleshed out. And so they had their own personalities and motivations and everything, and I honestly did not expect that going into what is a romance book, because I only expected really a lot of build up for the main characters, and that wasn't the case. There was a lot of focus here on friendship and family, which are things that I really enjoyed about this, and I was quite surprised about them too. I can't talk too much about what actually goes on in here because obviously those are spoilers, but I did really like the way that the storylines intermingled and the timelines intermingled, and August's life, she felt changed at the end, and I think that's key for any kind of book. I want the main character to feel like they've grown, and August definitely felt like that. A lot of the other characters around her felt that way as well, so it wasn't just isolated to August. Although the reason that I kind of want to hold my rating back is because some of the dialogue and the moments, while they were funny and cheesy at times, which is great, there were just some moments that I felt it was a bit too over the top and a little bit too much. And so I had to kind of dial down my expectations there. And so ultimately I would give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I gave Red, White and Royal Blue a 5 stars. So I didn't love this as much as her other book, but it was very, very up there. I really enjoyed all the romance scenes and I really loved her relationship building with Jane. I found that lovely, and I just found that the way that the storylines and timelines intermingled, the pace didn't feel jarring whatsoever, and I just really enjoyed myself. And ultimately for a romance, that's what you want. I've been in a reading slump for months, and this is one of the books that made me raise my head out of that slump and demolish it, and I finished the last 200 pages of this in a day and a half, maybe less. So if that doesn't tell you something about this book, I don't know what to tell you. You should pick this up because it is so much fun. So if you're in a slump, if you just want something nice and quick, if you like queer books because this came out in June and I know that's Pride Month, then you're gonna love this. This has a bisexual main character and a queer romance love interest. I think she's a lesbian, but I don't know if it's actually expressly stated. There's also a lot of trans representation in this as well with the side characters, and there's drag queens and stuff in here too. Like I said, it's just a romp, and if you haven't picked it up yet, I think you need to. The way that the twist was pulled off was really believable, and I thought I would have to suspend my disbelief quite a lot, but when it came to the ending, I actually really loved it and quite respected it at the same time as well. And those two things don't often go hand in hand when it comes to a romance book. I found Red, White and Royal Blue, while it was a satisfying ending, it ended in a way that made me want more of it, like immediately a scene after it ended. Whereas with this one, it gave me more of a conclusion, and it really built your emotional expectations and the story arcs of these characters, and that they would have futures and stuff into here as well. And I really liked that about it too, because it gave you a foundation and it said these are the characters and they've got a life after the book ends, if that makes sense. It doesn't just end when the story ends, and that's what I liked about it. So I did give this a 4.5 stars out of 5. So if you haven't jumped on board, please do, because this is great. Let me know if you've pre-ordered it down below, and if you plan on reading it, I would love to chat to you. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.